Good morning and welcome to the Cloffice. I hope that you are well this morning. Do you ever start reading a passage and then as you're reading that, it reminds you of another scripture, so then you find that other scripture and it provokes some questions, and then you find another scripture that answers that question? Well, I was having one of those times and I'm kind of jumping around and answering some other questions and some wonders, and I landed on John 15, which is, I am the vine and you and my Father, I am the vine and my Father is the gardener, or the vine dresser in some translations. He cuts off every branch in me that bears no fruit, while every branch that does bear fruit, he prunes, so that it will be even more fruitful. You are already clean. And then it goes on and on and on down to verse 5. I am the vine, you are the branches. If you remain in me and I in you, you will bear much fruit. Apart from me, you can do nothing. So this was so great. And what really stood out to me today in this verse is the little bit that talks about how the Father prunes that which bears fruit. So if part of your life is not bearing fruit, the gardener, the Father, cuts that off. If part of your life is bearing fruit, he also kind of cuts it off because he's pruning it. He's cutting it back. And so it kind of started to provoke these questions. Now he's cutting it back so that it bears more fruit and it's stronger. You cut back those branches and they get thicker and stronger, and they can carry more and they can hold more and they can bear more fruit. This is a good thing. Doesn't feel so good with the cutting and the pruning, but it is a good thing. But it provokes some questions, like number one question: how do you respond when you're being pruned? Maybe not so good. Pruning can hurt. Or who do you blame? Do you say, this is an attack from the enemy, and you blame the enemy? Or, God, I'm so mad at you, I don't like this, you blame God. Or maybe you blame yourself and it all gets confusing. Who do you blame when you're in a season of pruning? Or possibly, are you crazy enough to be thankful for the care of, I know that this is God training me. I'm so thankful that he cares so much about me, that he's willing to prune me and to weed things out of my life so that I can be stronger and I can bear more fruit. Or perhaps you're just trying to find your way. So it's difficult sometimes to navigate. Is this an attack from the enemy, or is this God pruning me? But here's the thing that I know. If we abide in Jesus, if we abide in the vine, and he then abides in us, whether it's pruning or an attack, either way, we are so abiding in the vine and walking close with Jesus that we will walk through it and be stronger because of it. And so we don't always have to figure out in the moment, is this an attack or is this pruning? If we're walking closely with the Lord and abiding in the vine, God will use it because he works out all things. He uses all things. That which the enemy intended for bad, God's like, ha ha ha, but I'm going to use it for my glory. And he takes those things that the enemy tries to pull the rug out from underneath us. God's like, no problem, because I want to use this. And so God desires to use us. But he desires our hearts, and that requires pruning and all different seasons. So I want to encourage you today to abide in the vine, abide in Jesus. So no matter what today holds, whether it's a little bit of pruning or perhaps a little attack from the enemy, you are with the Lord in it all, walking with Jesus, and he is your strength and he is your source. Have an amazing day, and God bless.